And a couple of examples I'd like to illustrate of how we've utilized this disc profile tool. One was a company that provides fuel services to major companies, very large company and a very large fuel distributor, decided to assess their drivers of their fuel trucks out on 95 in Florida or anywhere in the US, and they're driving a fuel truck with 30, 40,000 gallons of fuel. Who do you want driving it? Somebody who's a high D and telling you get out of the way, tooting the horn, going 85 miles an hour? Or do you want someone who's a very high S, steady, very high C, cautious, compliant person? And what happened as a result of using these, insurance claims went down, accidents went down, and we hired the right people for the job. It's not right or wrong, but the right people to be in that position were high C's and high S's, cautious people who didn't like a lot of change. In terms of the different profiles that we have them for executives, we have them for employee managers, anyone who's in a management position or a director. We have them for sales, we have them for customer service, we have them for career planning, which is wonderful for younger people or people wanting to change or find out what type of industry might be good for them. It's a marvelous tool that people utilize. I had one, if I may, I did have one individual who my brother asked me to profile. He was with a very large brokerage firm, investment brokerage firm. I won't mention the name. And he came from a wealthy family, and he was making 300 dials a day. He was basically an accountant. He wasn't a CPA, but he had an accounting background. And he was making 300 calls a day. He was terminated because he didn't do enough business, which is not unusual. Another investment firm, I won't mention that name, equally high, wanted to hire him. And my brother said, would you do a profile on Robert for me and I'll pay for it? I did. He came back very high S, very high C, very steady, very cautious, very compliant, very detail oriented. And I advised him, I said, Robert, whatever you do not take this position. Find something else. 2 months later, he called me. He said, Bernie, I just got hired as the CFO of a new startup software company. I'm getting along better with my wife and children. Things are much better at home. I'm feeling so much better. I can't thank you enough for helping me not take that one position. A year later, I met him at a party, and he came over to me. He said, Bernie, can I talk to you? I said, yeah. He said, I want to tell you, I can't thank you enough for helping me make that decision because I came that close to committing suicide. Wow, that one really shook my boots. But it tells you the validity of, it's not the end all be all. Again, I say it's a tool, but it's a marvelous tool for team building, for hiring, for assessing, for finding if you have the right people on the bus, find out if you have to get some people off the bus. I have a client right now, they've had someone who's been there for 10 years and just reviewed his profile, and he's just got no D at all. And I'm going to have to advise them that, he's costing you a lot of money closing business, but how much is he not closing? Just because he's probably not in the right position. And he could be better in another place within the company because he's a good employee. So again, it's a tool. It's called DISC, D-I-S-C, developed by Dr. William Moulton Marston, 1919, at Harvard University. There are a lot of derivations of it. There are a lot of different, I think, Profiles International. I won't mention competitors. I use something called Target Training International out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Wonderful people. They keep up to date with it. Developed by Bill Bonstetter, who wrote a book about DISC, which is available. And I found them to be the most reliable for helping me help my clients. So again, it's a tool. Dominant, influencer, steady, relator, and cautious, compliant. Because these are the four behaviors that, and we all do all of them. It's just that some we do more than others, and then we'll fit a position we're working in our careers as we go forward. So with that, I'll encourage you to take a DISC profile. If you'd like to, we can arrange for you to take a DISC profile. We'll discuss the investment. We take 10 to 12 minutes at one sitting, and we encourage you to be brutally honest. And you could take one for executive, one for sales, one for employee manager, one for customer service, one for career planning, you name it. And we would customize and then not just give you 23 pages, but give you an example of where you fit and what's best for you as an individual or what's best for your teammates. One other thing is that first time I took a disc report was 1984, and you did it by hand, and you scored it by hand. I mean, it was really just old-fashioned way to do it. I still have my profile, my handwritten results, and I've taken it recently. I take it every couple of years. Very, very rarely any change at all, and mine hasn't changed very much, in all of these years, and most people don't. And sometimes the report might come back a little invalid if someone is undergoing some stress or an important part of their life. It'll come back at very high C. Maybe they're out of work, and we'll determine that or encourage them to wait a bit and retake the assessment. Again, it's an assessment, it's a tool, and it's not a test, but it's a great tool. So thank you for letting me share DISC. And go to my website, www.berniecronin.com, to learn more about it or to sign up and take the assessment for yourself.